Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new video. This video is the first of my game trailer game concepts video, where I do concepts and stuff with video games. Pretty self-explanatory title there. Anyways, first game concept that I'm doing now, Batman Gotham Knight. No, it's not based on the anime Batman movie set in the Nolan verse. Weird. It was good. It was good. I'm not saying it was bad, but it's weird. So it's now based on that. Well, I guess you could say original concept, somewhat original. I mean, it's just taking bits of Batman lore and just sticking it in that game and saying it's good. So this video is talking about the gameplay element. Next time will be the story. I have a script sort of set up. Barely finished with it at all. I'm not even done with the tutorial. Oh man. Yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna be talking about first off the combat. So combat is like Batman Begins video game back in the day. That was a game, you probably know about it. It's pretty good, based on a movie, and I even have it myself. I don't know why I did that. So yeah, so pretty much it was like square to punch, triangle to kick, and then like R2 to block, and I think with X or some button you could like roll with it. Well, sort of based on that, instead of being R2, it's R1 in this one. Um, well, the blocking and stuff. Pretty much at the beginning of the game, you well, the, over time you upgrade, and so these kind of stats and stuff might change, but the very beginning of the game, before you do any like upgrades or any equip any perks. I'm not sure if you guys are hearing this. I'm currently in a military base on Mars. This is why whatever they're saying you can't understand unless you're for fast. But it's the cone heads. They're here. So the combat basically square is punch basically, and pretty much it doesn't have as much range as triangle, which is kick. So you just like you could miss sometimes, and if the person is a decent, well, it's far away, you won't be able to get them compared to a kick, which is two times as like it has two times more range, and it does two times less damage. So it does half the damage of say a kick. The difference is of course it's a lot quicker, so you could combo it a lot quicker, and also considering it's quicker, it also basically speed in the game, like attack speed, pretty much is a thing where and I'm not gonna program this. It's gonna be years until I can even like think about like just basic anything. But God, my nose is so stuffed up right now. I could just sneeze at any second, and I'm not adept enough in editing to be able to just mute the sound at any point. The only way I could do that, just stop the video and restart it back again. So if you hear a sneeze, get your headphones ready if you're wearing headphones, and just take them off. I'll give you a warning. Uh, so yeah, you'll just hear me breathing heavily. Pretty much. So yeah, it's pretty much attack speed. There are some enemy types in the game, like ninjas and stuff like that, who can. Well, there's three kind of defense modes for enemies. There's blocking, which some enemies have, but the two others that really count on attack speed is um, dodging and countering. Some enemies, like as I said, the ninjas, and like some bosses like Deathstroke and Raish. Spoilers. They can like counter your moves basically. So if your attacks are fast enough, they can't actually do that, and some can just roll out of the way and just like dodge the attack and then do something else at later. I'm not sure if I want to add like a stun effect, so if you miss a shot, or like they dodge a shot, you just get stunned and they can like attack you. I'm not sure if that's a thing I want to do. Again, not gonna program this for another like 5 or 6 or 7 years, and by that time a much better Batman game would come out. Like I think the equivalent of 2 Arkham games might come out by the time I get to even like think about anything of this game. So 2 Arkham games might come out before I even finish the script. So I mean, that's that's fun, right? So pretty much that's how that works. And quick kicking, as I said, 2 times it does 2 times double the damage of a punch. Has better range than a punch, which will never change. By the way, the range and stuff will never change. But the attack speed is a lot slower, so pretty much people can counter and block. Well, not block, but counter and roll out of the way of your kicks more than your punches. So it would be a bit more advantageous to go for like punches, pretty much like in shooters, basically. Like the shotgun's a lot close range, but it does so much damage that you just gotta use it. Plus, you just feel real cool using a shotgun. But tactically, assault rifles and like that kind of stuff work a lot better. Anyways, we're not talking about shooters in this game. This is for the next game. So, spoiler. So, man, that would have been a perfect segue if I was just doing like just all the games in a row in just one video. That would have been a perfect segue, but no, we're not doing that. So, best part is I already have the thumbnail prepared for that other game. I've barely even like done anything for that again. I thought about it. Let's just say it's Fallout, but not. Yeah. So pretty much, what else? Okay, blocking and stuff. So pretty much all RB is sort of your defense stuff, basically. So hold down RB to block attacks. You could just hold it down and then you can just block any attack. I think if like my calculations are correct, at the beginning of the game, blocking gets rid of I don't know, 25% of the damage that's inflicted. You can get upgrades from that from different perks and stuff, and of course your armor upgrades. Spoilers. There are many spoilers, many spoilers. Anyways, pretty much there are things you can do to up that, but at the beginning it should be around 20-25%. And then with X, I'm not sure if you want to do it like X and you just dodge out of the way of any attack. It'll kind of feel cheap. Well, X on PlayStation, A on Xbox. I'm that good. People always get those confused. I don't know why. So press that and you pretty much just dodge out of the way or roll, like do a military roll out of the way of an attack. Like certain attacks cannot be like blocked, basically. So like to give an example, like the Abramovici, Abramovici, I can't speak Russian. Those big clowns. There's like one for the Joker and one for the Penguin in Batman Arkham City. They were like Siamese twins that like the Joker split in two. Weird, but I think they were even in the comics. I'm not sure, but anyways, they have there's hammer and sickle basically. That's what I'm talking about. Like pretty much you can't like block a massive like 20-ton hammer like coming on your face. You just gotta roll out of the way. So yeah. Um, of course, for skilled players, there's also a counter button basically where you have to hold down RB, so pretty much in the block position or whatever, and you press square on PlayStation, X on Xbox. I don't know why they couldn't just do the same thing, but Xbox sucks. So, um, pretty much you can just press square X to do like a counter, and basically you take no damage. Like as I said, blocking only gets rid of like 20% of the damage. So like if the enemy that attacking you, their melee damage, because there's different kind of melee damage in the game. If their melee damage is like 100, which is kind of late game, but if their melee damage is 100, you only lose 80 health. That sounds wrong. uh, no, you only lose 20 health. No. Okay, my calculations were a bit off. um, mm. As I said, might be late game, so like you probably have like 1,000 health or something crazy like that. So yeah, you only take 80 health instead of 100. Basically, that's how that works. Um, and of course, you can upgrade the blocking and your health upgrades. Well, there's also perks for your health upgrading, but yeah, the upgrade system works like Fallout. Just you don't have to have like the special stuff in it, like the strength, perception, that kind of stuff. You basically just there and you upgrade it. It's like the perks in the UFC 2. Just that you don't have to do the training. You can just get perks by leveling up. So I tried to make upgrading a bit simplistic and not as like linear, I guess. And plus, I don't know, like the Arkham games, there's really stuff about damage and stuff like that. Just punch, 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 you win. Uh, so yeah, but that's how it works. 10 minutes passed already. I've only talked about kicking, punching, and blocking. I need to speed up these things. Wow. Anyways, what's our time? All right. So, you can do a counter and pretty much you take no damage and you damage the enemy at the same time. I'm not sure if I want to do it like what game did that. There's a game where if you did you depleted their health to a certain point, they just get like a stun thing. It can pretty much do like a fatality on them, like in Mortal Kombat. I'm not sure. It's not Mortal Kombat I'm thinking of at all. No, it's like it was well, Mortal Kombat's 3D, but like pretty much the Arkham games. I think it was Deadpool. I don't know. Some game like that. And you just did like a finisher at the end. I'm not sure if I want to add that in too. Might be like a upgrade or something you can unlock via playing the game. I don't know. I really haven't thought up the upgrading stuff at all. But yeah, that's basically how that works. So now into uh, stealth. So stealth. I thought a lot more about the stealth than I did for combat. Um, and I'm pretty sure they're not even gonna be that many stealth encounters in the game. I think I have like a couple planned, like spoilers. There's one where Deathstroke, like he got all of Amanda Waller's mercenaries. That he sort of like corrupted them, I guess. I mean, they're called corrupt agency mercenaries in the game. Uh, so like he and his cronies attack the GCPD building, the building, and pretty much their goal is to kill Amanda Waller, who's holed up in there, and pretty much you have to take them out and stop Deathstroke before she dies. Of course, she dies, not, she always dies. You can't like stop the death, but yeah. That's the only way. Like what I found out, the only way to make Deathstroke look cool, especially in a like the Bat family sort of games and stories, you always have to make them kill other important characters that are not main characters. Like don't have them kill Nightwing and stuff like that. That's pretty much how you're supposed to do it. And make sure they kill somebody. Like it's not like Deathstroke in Batman and Robin. Like he didn't even kill anybody. Like thinking about it, he didn't kill a single person. I mean, Raish died via just missiles from his men who fired like missiles into the place and he burned to death and stuff like that. Then, Damien cut out his eye and then he had to run away from Damien. I say the word Damien very loudly. Uh, Damien was way too OP in those movies. I really don't know. He's that OP in Justice League versus Teen Titans. Go watch the Kate Nightwing 01 review of that. He had to save Cyborg, Starfire. Well, I don't think it was. It was Beast Boy, Starfire, and Raven were getting attacked by Trigon dudes, and he just like saved all of them by just rolling grenades, and basically did nothing. Whilst they were a lot stronger than him, and they could just punch the guys in their face, but trying to make Damien look as strong as possible. They're pretty much doing the CM Punk route. Basically, they're CM Punk, Damien is Roman Reigns. You have to make him look really, really strong. So, yeah, and I guess CM Punk did his job back then because now he's WWE champion, and everybody still doesn't like him. So, we're not talking about WWE. This is Batman. So what was I talking about? Yeah. So pretty much Deathstroke kills Amanda Waller, he kills Rick Flag, and spoilers, like massive spoiler here. This is like this is pretty much half. This is the game. He kills Batman at some point too. Well, kill. I say lightly. Spoilers. This is just fill up with spoilers. I'm not even gonna have anything to talk about in the story video. But anyways, 15 minutes. My goodness. Oh, yeah, I'm terrible at that. But pretty much that's how it happened. So I think that's the only time a stealth encounter. would occur. But yeah. Also, another massive spoiler. The only way to beat Deathstroke in the game, you once you play as Nightwing, pretty much trying to get revenge on Deathstroke for killing Batman, you get wrecked, obviously, because you gotta make Deathstroke look really, really strong. And then Katana for Soul Reaper sword or whatever. All I know is that she is a ninja and she has a katana. I didn't know it could take the souls of people it killed or whatever. That's something I learned from Suicide Squad. So I mean, you could use that, use it, whatever. And that's against Deathstroke, pretty much. Since he has the regeneration and everything, he's really OP. So you got to do something like that, basically. I told a guy that I know about that. He was really mad because Deathstroke is his favorite character, and he hates how people are treating him, and pretty much just never include him in any story because he'll get ill treated. But like, what wrestler can I compare Deathstroke to? Let's talk about Tyler Breeze. No, not Tyler Breeze. Um, not Sammy. Not Sammy. Um, I don't know. I feel like AJ is sort of like that. But anyways, so pretty much that's the only time you get a stealth encounter in the game. That's the only time I thought of that, and like no, no, not really at the beginning where you fight the Royal Flush Gang. Again, spoilers. So yeah, but they're very stealth encounters pretty much. So pretty much in stealth encounters, you are in this area. Sometimes it'll be open, sometimes it'll be closed off. I don't really know. I'm not doing level design for another 5 years, as I've said before. So, um, you're in this area. There are a bunch of guys around who have guns, like any stealth encounter in any game. Except for like that one VR game. No, stop getting distracted. So you're there, and pretty much they have like this extra bar above their health. There's the health bar. I don't know if I want to add stamina, but I'll probably add stamina. Not stamina. And people always make that mistake. So you have like this bar on top of their health. That's pretty much like their stealth bar, detection bar. I don't really know. Pretty much it goes from 0 to 100. This is just an example. Upgrades and stuff will well, as I said, upgrade this and you can get like to 200, stuff like that. That's pretty much a detection bar. Once that reaches 100, that means you've been spotted and they will start shooting you and you would die. I mean, that's how all stealth games work. So, yeah. And they have like awareness. Some enemies have better awareness than others. Pretty much awareness is the speed of which that bar fills up. So say somebody has an awareness of, this is just an example, by the way. Somebody has an awareness level of, I don't know, 5. They're well, it depends on how well you're hidden, basically. So if you're like prone down in like a dark corner of a room and you're wearing like light armor, which I'll talk about later. Pretty much you're just complete stealth. They can barely see you, like 0%, never fills up. If you're like in a large lit up place, you're right in their field of view. You're just running towards them in heavy armor. You're gonna get spotted immediately. That's how like that works. And then a certain time, like say you're crouched down, it's in like not a pretty lit up area, but it's slightly lit up, like it's dim, and you just crouch there, and they're looking at you with you slightly in their field of view. The bar fills up like I don't know 5 or something like that per second. Some enemies have better awareness, so it would fill up like 10 per second. Some have terrible awareness and it will fill up like 1 a second. That's basically how that works. Now, for guns, basically, because I, I want to make it feel like proper stuff. Like, if you're not using stealth, you're pretty much gonna die. Like, in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, I think it was, with Spider-Man Noir, basically, they made it to where you're grossly depowered and the enemies are grossly overpowered. So, if you get spotted, you're pretty much just toast. But, yeah. So, pretty much the gun damage, I guess, is like their base damage, which is their melee damage. So, like, say 25 base damage. Guns, depending on what type of gun it is, the damage will increase. So, depending on the base damage. This is weird calculations, I know. So pretty much if their base damage is like 25, if you're carrying like a pistol, which would be like plus 50%, it would add like, well, I'm not gonna put like 0 point whatever in the game. It's just gonna either be 12 or 13. It's not gonna be 12.5 or anything like that. Yeah, this is not Fallout, okay? So pretty much it would add another 13 damage onto the 25, which would make 38 damage of the pistol. So basically, if they have a pistol, they would do 38 damage per shot. Um, and there's also a range sort of thing. Basically, if you have like a special vision against spoilers, like detective vision or whatever, I think it's gonna be called military goggles, military vision, something like that. Basically, you get to see what the range of a gun is. Well, the ranges, the various ranges. There's close range, medium range, and then long range, which is a bit farther away. Basically, like for pistol example, for example, close range, it would do its base damage, so it'd do the 38 damage. If it's in medium range, it would decrease by a percentage. So say in this at this point, might be an easy percentage to get rid of. So I can just say it quickly. So if you'll get to like I don't know, get rid of 50%, it's not gonna be like that. Well, actually, I think it might do like if it's close range, it might double. If it's like yeah. So pretty much close range. Thinking of it as we go. Yeah, this is how we do it on a Game Troller Prime channel. I'm dyslexic. Shut up. I'm not actually dyslexic. I'm just dumb. So pretty much, at close range, it would do its base damage. At medium range, it would do half the damage. So 14. 14? Uh, 14 plus 14. That's 28. So 19? Yeah, I think it's 19. Math, man, math. So it would do 19 damage at medium range and then do nothing at long range because it can't even reach long range. You would see, depending on what the range is, you would see what it does. Then, for example, a shotgun, which again is a fun. So pretty much depending on like a shotgun, I think would be like 75% of the. Hold up a second. And after a quick cut, I'm back. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about damage, right? So, like other guns like shotguns, pretty much. As you know, shotguns are better at close range, so it would do double damage at close range, and well, if I want to do like base damage at medium range, but that's what I'm gonna do. No, quadruple damage. No, I'm just kidding. It will do double damage at close range and half damage at medium range and no damage at long range. And its actual damage is the base damage of the character plus, I don't know, 75%. So basically, if you're the person you're going up against, their base damage would be like 100. Their shotgun damage would be 175 per shot. So yeah, it works for everything else. Like assault rifles would be like plus. I don't know. Pretty much, I think assault rifles would be the same thing as pistols, but as it's rapid auto fire, fire more than like once per second. So, well, not more. No. Like, it would fire a lot basically. So yeah, that's how that sort of works. That's how like the ranges and the damage sort of works. And then field of view, some like bosses. I think I don't know what boss I would have. That would be like they would have like an not omnipresence. What am I thinking? Omniscient? I mean, like what is the word for if somebody's seeing everything, like an all-seeing eye or something like that? That like omniscient. That is like I would know everything. So what? So pretty much, you get to like, there's a boss that pretty much would see everything around them, and you can't really. Well, everything except for the back. I think that would make sense and would be kind of easy. So pretty much, yeah. So they're pretty much like all seeing, and either you have to hide behind cover or just sneak up behind them, and make sure you have like light armor because there's like the field of view, which is the bits where if you're in their field of view, they spot you faster, like double the awareness if you're in their field of view. And then there's also the hearing aspect of it, which there's pretty much like sound. Like I don't know what game had that in it. Where there's like if you make too much sound, they'll hear you and then they'll see you, but yeah, which if you have to like be in light armor to make sure that yeah. So pretty much, if you're like in heavy armor, your footsteps makes more noise and they spot you using that. I don't think it was MGS. It was some other game. But yeah, that's pretty much how the stealth mechanic sort of works, and of course, leveling up and stuff like that. You know, bosses, everything would work around those base mechanics, but that's how it works. You know, in general. Now for driving, because you get to drive the Batmobile, the Batboat, which is something we've never been able to drive, by the way. I don't know why. I hope they add that in Return to Arkham or whatever the next Arkham game is. Yeah, I think that was like a rumored name for it. And apparently there's like info on it that's coming out today. I think I don't know. I saw something on Facebook about it. But anyways, pretty much get to drive the Batboat, get to drive the Batmobile, and then of course get to fly the Batwing. Um, you know, all these things. The Batmobile would drive. Like, driving is sort of hard. Uh, I would just have to get somebody else to handle the driving mechanics and stuff, but pretty much would just work. I'm just gonna tell you the controls from what I remember. Pretty much R2 is your accelerate, R L2 is your brake. Um, R1 I think is like your fire, like attack button basically. So because you can't just drive around the place and not do anything, you need like a fire button. So and I'm not doing like a battle mode, pursuit mode thing they did in Arkham Knight, although it was cool. Yeah. So um, then L1 is your like aim or whatever. I don't think I'll have aim. I think I'll just have like if you're in front or if it tracks. Like if you say there's like a missile launcher that tracks enemies basically. Um, wow. There's like a homing missile or something like that. Basically, you just hold down R1 and then auto locks. Then you know, like for example, the side-mounted machine guns. I think I called them. Pretty much, you just have the person has to be in front for you to be able to do anything. So pretty much, I'm not gonna add an aim button for that. And then this is for the Batmobile, by the way. Then square or X on Xbox, I think was either brake or like change gear. I know there's like a button to change the gear, and pretty much what changing gear does is you go up, you pretty much hold down R2, you accelerate, and you get to a certain speed. You have to change the gear in order to go up a layer in the speed, basically. So it's weird. I mean that's pretty much what I've learned from pretty much all driving movies. Like, and by all driving movies that I've seen, I mean Herbie, Fully Loaded, and Speed Racer. Not good, but yeah. So pretty much what I learned from that is changing gear makes you faster. So that's pretty much how I'm doing now. That and from Tour de France game I got. Really, really, that was the best game my sister could get. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. I think changing gear would be X on PlayStation, A on Xbox. B I think was handbrake or something like that. Triangle is to get out of the car, and like of course the left stick would be the drive and stuff like that. I don't actually give the on-foot controls because there's also on-foot controls. And then like there's a bunch of stuff. I can't get it off the top of my head. I think I'll like add the controls in the description so you could just go into the description and read what the controls are so I don't have to explain it. I think that's what I'll do once I reach home. So what else? What else? So of course you have the Bat boat, which is pretty much for sea combat because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that as of now because I haven't actually thought of like sea chases or whatever. I want to add like a couple of those. Of course, there's some parts where you have to go a lot quicker, and in order to go a lot quicker, it's pretty much just beeline across the map. You need to use the Batboat in order to get traverse a lot quicker. Because like in the Batmobile, you have to take turns and stuff. Of course, in the Batwing, you can't just go straight up into like the low orbit and just like fly and then drop down. That's not possible. That's you pretty much have to break the game in order to do that. Uh, like in Arkham City, where there's a glitch that you got to do, where you got to go into the actual Gotham City and break out of Arkham City. It was a weird glitch, and I tried it on Arkham Origins. It didn't work. So at least that's one thing WB Montreal did correctly with Batman Arkham Origins. But anyways, I don't know why I have my finger on the camera to block like video. Maybe you're just gonna add pictures over this. I don't know. um, what else? What else? So pretty much like in the Batwing, there's the buildings that sort of block your path. At least in North Gotham, because there's different. I haven't actually mentioned this. I'll talk about this in the map section of the game. So pretty much that's how vehicles sort of work. So pretty much there would be like air chases and sea chases, and of course Batmobile chases and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, pretty much just driving mechanics would just be the controls, I guess. I'm not sure how like speed would work. I know there's like upgrades and stuff to up the speed and stuff, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I think I could do like one of the abilities that the Batmobile has is to like scan. So I think like what I would do is the pretty much scan would check how fast the vehicle is going and see if you can actually catch up with them or not or something like that. I'm not sure how that would work. Anyways, now onto the map section of the game. So pretty much, well, of the video. So the map is separated into three islands, and it's North Gotham, which is like the top of the map, I guess, where there's like the well, what's the word I'm looking for? Urban? Not really urban. Like the rich section of the map, pretty much, where there's like the tall skyscrapers, Wayne Towers there, everything's there, and like the banks and stuff like that. There's Mid Gotham, which is like the slums, I guess, where there's like the East End and Chinatown and everything, where all the crime happens and Crime Alley and everything. Of course, with Crime Alley be there, that would mean Monarch Theater would be there, but I guess that would work. And then, of course, South Gotham is sort of like the docks and like industrial area, along with well, that's mainly the east part, the South Island, and then, of course, um, the west part of the island would be sort of the prison sort of area. So GCPD and Blackgate Prison, or in the south of the area. And of course, you gotta have Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum. I'm not sure if I want to have it be like at the very like just square in the east of the North Island, or if I want it to be like a island in between North and South, and North and Mid Gotham. It would just be like a little in between there. Either way, it would just be the same, and it wouldn't really change as much. I mean, it would change quite a bit, to be honest. Like the final fight where you have to, spoilers, invade Arkham in order to stop the Joker. It wouldn't really make any sense because it wouldn't be as protected as you would think it would be, because like pretty much attacks from all sides. So I guess I would just have it be in the east and not in like in between. But either way, it wouldn't really change that much. And pretty much it's just an island, and Arkham Asylum is on said island. Arkham Island, pretty much. So yeah, there are various buildings and stuff. As I said, the different districts and stuff, and of course, getting into spoiler territory again. It's pretty much just spoilers for next video. But there's sort of like a turf war going on between the Queen. Yeah, the Queen. Also a spoiler. This is spoiler heaven right now. So Penguin Black Mask, and Two-Face. They have a little turf war going on to see who would get the most turf or whatever and control Gotham stuff. It mainly happens in like the mid area. Now the problem with that is I drew up a map. I might put the actual map on screen now for you guys to see, but it was like it's weird because North Gotham actually is like the biggest island, which I guess makes sense because that's where most, well, not most of the story, but it wouldn't just make sense. And like Mid Gotham is actually like the smallest island, so I think I should change that up a little bit because a lot of stuff happens in Mid Gotham. So I don't know. You guys will see. You guys will see. So by you guys, I mean like the handful of people that would watch this. And of course, four of those shoes would be me checking to see if everything was okay. So, yeah, yeah. So, pretty much just talking to myself at this point. So, what was I talking about? So, four, yeah. So, pretty much various districts, and pretty much there's different battles that I don't know if I want to have them be randomly generated or if they just like set events. Set events would kind of be boring. So I think randomly generated, depending on like the situation and yeah, the situation that the map and area, the war pretty much is in. So if like a certain district, the district is under like Two-Face control, either Penguin or Black Mask men would invade said district and would have like a couple turf war battles and eventually take control like a little bit of control and there's like pretty much color coded basically. So like if it's say China Towers and Penguin, like Two Face would be black and white, like checkered colors. I'm just turning into Tommy Lee Jones Two Face now. Pretty much it would be like none of you guys just heard that. It would be like checkered colored, and then Penguin would be blue, whatever, and then Black Mask. I don't know what I would do with Black Mask, but he would be there. So pretty much if they try and attack Two Face, there's like a pest. I just swore. Anyways, there's like a percentage thing. Like there would be like a special turf war tab or something like that, and it would show like the percentage of control that each of the gangs have overall, like the overall map, and then like in certain districts, it would have like the percentage of their control in said area. The percentage, at least after a certain event happens, I'm gonna save this bit for the story video. But pretty much when a set, not set event, when a certain event happens, it would just like go across the entire map. But for the beginning, it would just be like mid Gotham and a bit of South Gotham. And that's basically how it would work out. So say like it would be Two Face territory, but it would be like 70% Two Face control, 20% Penguin control, and 10% Black Mask control. But since he has the majority, he would control most of it. Of course, as I said, after a certain event happens, there will be strongholds and stuff. So basically, certain enemies would just hold up in a certain area, and that would be their strongest fortification. Pretty much in order to stop that from happening, prevent, well, not really prevent, but pretty much just to stop those guys. You would have to like attack those strongholds, and pretty much the percentage would decrease over time after you attack those strongholds, and you would have to do it in quick succession. Because unlike certain games where just once you defeat a certain like people in that area is safe, they would eventually after like a couple days or something attack that stronghold again and pretty much can take control of it. Unless like I don't know. Well, I think how like after a certain event happens, the police would like take control of said stronghold, and depending on the police strength and everything like that, after the people attack, if they're the police that are holding up that stronghold or were weak, they would lose, and then that gang would take control of the stronghold, and pretty much their percentage would increase and stuff like that. Pretty much how you get rid of Penguin, Two Face, and Black Mask because they're sort of the main villains, but they don't really show up that much, and that not that involved with the story. They're just like side characters, but also the main characters in a weird way. I don't know. Basically, in order to stop that from happening, you would have to get rid of their strongholds. Make sure that the police take control of such stronghold, and they're strong enough to hold it for as long as possible, and pretty much just you get rid of all the strongholds. And once you get rid of the strongholds and pretty much get rid of the districts and the turf that a certain villain has, so say you take out like Two-Face has like I don't know 10 strongholds in Chinatown and 3 strongholds in East End, just an example, and that's pretty much all that he controls. If you take out all 13 strongholds and he pretty much has no control over any turf, he himself would come out into the map and start going around the place, taking over strongholds and something like that. And you pretty much just have a boss with him then you beat him and then take him to Blackgate where he gets arrested. And that's pretty much the end of Two-Face until a certain event happens. So this is another certain event. I'll talk all about this in the story video, but yeah. So that's pretty much how like the map and the turf war sort of aspect of the game happens. Um, at at least in the tutorial sort of part of the strong turf war thing, there wouldn't be any like strongholds or hideouts or places that people would control. It'd just be they circle around the district and everything, and then at some point, like they meet up with an invading gang, and then they fight, and then that's a turf war battle. That's sort of supposed to be dynamic, I guess, and then you pretty much have to stop that, because depending on who wins, they pretty much get stronger, and pretty much what getting stronger is their influence increases overall and in that area. So pretty much, if say like if you don't stop it, their influence would be stronger, and pretty much they would have a lot better men. Like there would be say if you're level 9, but their influence is really high, they would get like level 10s, level 11s, even up to level 15s or something in that area, and just overall, and pretty much you would have a hard time taking on those guys because they're a bit stronger than you. So you would have to stop the turf war battles in order for their influence to be sort of low. But yeah, and that would come into effect in the late game, where you pretty much have to stop them in order to continue the game. Um, so that's pretty much how that sort of works out. I'm not sure if I want to add like Deathstroke, because he's sort of like a main villain in the game. I don't know if I want to have him be like Two-Face and Co. Would be part of the turf war and take over Gotham himself? I don't know if I want to have like Teen Titans Slade, or any other mercenary slave that just wants to kill people and just go home. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, 20 minutes already. Wow. Um, oh, for what's other things I want to talk about? All right, upgrades and perks and stuff like that. It's pretty much how it works. You have different ways to increase and enhance Batman and your buddies, because there's various buddies. I'll mention this a little later because that would involve spoilers and stuff. Even bigger spoilers, I guess. I don't know, for the story, because at this point you already know anything. Yeah. So, yeah. So first you have your perks sort of area. I initially called this trailing because I wanted it to be like UFC, where you have to train a certain thing, like you would go into like your boxing like sand bag thing. I don't know what you call it. Your thing that people punch and stuff. The thing that Captain America burst, burst in Avengers. Pretty much that. So yeah, and then that would increase your punch damage and stuff like that. But I just turn it into perks because perks are just easier to understand. So like with each level, you get 2 perk or whatever points, upgrade points, level up points, just points. And basically, you get to use those points on a certain perk. I'll list all of them in the description because I can't remember all of them off the tip of my head. And plus, there's others that I want to add as well. So, yeah. I even have a cool little One Piece reference in there, for everybody who knows One Piece. So yeah, and pretty much you get 2 points, as I said, with each level up, and you get to get and well, you get to acquire and upgrade a certain perk. So like if, as I said at the very start of the video, your kicks do double the damage of your punches. If you want your punches, because as I said, it would change over time. If you want your punches to be stronger than your kicks, you would like take points in your, I think it was boxing perk, where if you get level up that, your punches would be actually stronger than your kicks over time. Um, so that's how that works. I didn't want to make it be at 1 point because 1 point would be kind of not good because you wouldn't barely have enough time to upgrade anything at all. So I also didn't want to have 3 points because 3 points just seems a bit overkill and like this makes you feel strong. I guess with how I'm doing my calculations and stuff, I think I should do like 3 points, but for now it's 2 points. Pretty much if you want to increase your boxing, if you want to increase your punch strength and your kick speed to make it be like even, at some point you could put a perk, you could put a point in boxing, and then I think one was just quick feet or whatever, happy feet, that's what I should do, happy feet. Free kick speed. Wow. So yeah, so that's pretty much how perks and stuff work. Now for um utility upgrades? No. Like stuff you use, you upgrade those. So like, in Fallout you have your perks and your perk chart and your special and stuff like that. And then you also have your workbenches where you upgrade your armor and guns and stuff like that. That's pretty much how I'm doing my upgrade system in this. So pretty much you have your perks here, which just upgrade your self. I don't really know. You just upgrade your punch attack and all that stuff. Um, and you have to wait for for you to level up in order for you to get stronger in that sort of way. In this way, you pretty much it's a little bit easier. You have to get lean tech points in order to upgrade your equipment, basically. So pretty much Wayne Tech, like I want to call them credits. Wayne Tech parts, Wayne Tech credits, or Wayne Tech points, stuff like that. Pretty much you get them every time you beat a enemy or something like that. I'm not sure. It's weird. I initially wanted to do it like say you could like take control of Bruce Wayne or whatever and control Wayne Enterprises, and pretty much if you do a good deal or something like that, something I barely even thought about when I initially thought of it. You pretty much just get Wayne Tech credits that way, and you pretty much get to upgrade your Batsuit, your Batmobile, and your vehicles as well as your gadgets. That I sort of got rid of because it wouldn't really make sense and wouldn't work after a certain event happens. So yeah, that's pretty much how that works. So I just made it to where every time you beat an enemy, you get 10 points or whatever. I wanted to do it a little bit differently. Like I wanted to have like crates and weapon crates and stuff like that scattered around, where you get credits that way, but that wouldn't really work. So yeah, it would just feel like Batman stealing, which doesn't make any sense. I am severely thirsty right now, but I'll continue on. So um So yeah, you get your win 10 credits, and you get to upgrade your equipment. So from what I can remember now, your batsuit, you have your different armor types, and your cape and your cowl and stuff like that, and all that have different effects on your stuff. So on your damage and stuff like that. So say there's heavy armor, which is Kevlar. Then you have your light armor, which is rubber. So like rubber, like Dick Grayson, Batman, and what other suit had rubber in it? Just like complete rubber. I wanted to have cloth as one, but I don't know. I might add cloth. I might add cloth as a another like material could use to on your bat suit. But for now, it's just Kevlar and rubber, and pretty much Kevlar is your heavy stuff, and pretty much Kevlar makes a lot more noise, and your running speed is decreased and everything like that. But you have a massive buff in your damage resistance. Now, damage resistance is something I didn't think of properly. Because I was like, damage resistance, you get like 25% off on damage and stuff. That wouldn't work because, like, at some point, I don't know why, but I found this. At some point, in my it wouldn't really feel proper to go like up to like 100%. So you get rid of just all the damage by getting that upgrade. And I guess it would work, you know. But just turn the God mode. I don't know. I feel like that's something Superman might have. Like it could like go up to 100% uh, melee damage resistance, but like barely anything for ballistic damage or explosive damage or whatever. So I guess that's how I could do it. But and that feels sort of weird, not good, not smart. But anyways, that's sort of how I'm doing it. So pretty much, your different gear, they have different effects. They have positive effects and then they have negative effects, and depending on your play style and everything, you would choose what kind of armor type you would want. So say like you want your punches to be faster, you would put the rubber gloves. But the problem with the rubber gloves is they're really quick, but they're not exactly good at punching damage. They're not good at damage, and they're not really good at like blocking, basically. So you would have to use perks in order to upgrade your damage. So pretty much you could have just really OP punches, basically. Like they're super fast, so nobody can dodge them or counter them, and they do a ton of damage at the same time. That's sort of how, like a really high, like depending on what type of play style the person has, I want to give them freedom in that sort of way. So if they want a certain like play style, basically like quick and powerful punches, basically just punches all the way, they would have to take like the various steps in order to get that happening. And I also wanted it to be you could actually do that. So being severely like just not being able to do that, restricted basically. You also have like steel, like knuckled thing, brass knuckled. I don't know. Pretty much just like your knuckled sort of areas, just on metal, so it would increase damage. Then there's like steel toed for kicking, stuff like that. Cowl. Now the cowl is interesting. I didn't really like. Cowl. Like I would have rubber. I would have rubber, and then Kevlar. That pretty much all doing cowl upgrades would just be for like the damage resistance. That's pretty much all cowl really is for, and running speed and stuff like that. I wouldn't really uh, talk about your punching, your damage in any way, unless you just find a way to hack the game and add headbutts. Just become Zidane. But yeah. So for the cow, what I instead of doing like damage resistance and everything, well, I think I might do that. But another thing I want to do for the cow is, of course, the special visions that you have in the game. So there's like X-ray vision where you get to see through walls and like bodies and stuff like that. Then there's like military vision where you get to see gun ranges. I'm not sure if what kind of vision would be that you get to see like the enemy field of view and stuff like that. Also, like thermal vision, so you get to see if they're carrying like a gun or something like that, if it's holstered or if like the person is alive or something like that. Like say Clayface just randomly pops up. I didn't even put Clayface in the game. But say he just randomly pops up. You could either use X-ray vision to see if he has a skeleton, or use thermal vision to see if he has any body heat. Of course, I don't think Clayface would have that. I think that would make sense for like I don't know Batman, Superman game or Justice League game where like Parasite is in the game and pretty much Parasite he works on body heat and stuff. I'm not sure if I want to do it like that, but yeah. Or get to see if somebody in disguise or something like Superman in disguise, and you would get to see like their body heat and pretty much Superman's body heat would just be like over 9,000. Uh, So yeah, but we're talking about Gotham Knight for now. But Justice League and stuff like that is for later on. But yeah, so I want to do like the special visions and stuff. I'll list all of this out in the description. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much how the upgrades work. And of course, for gadgets now. We're sort of heading into gadget territory with the upgrades. Pretty much gadgets, you have your basic batarangs and stuff. There now, I added this fun little thing, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not. I have blunt batarangs and sharp batarangs. Now, of course, a sharp batarang to the head would be a kill, but since Batman doesn't kill, I'm not sure how I don't do that because it would feel kind of like a cop out, I guess. I don't know. If you like have your short barrel but you can actually throw it at somebody, or if it doesn't like do anything. I had this idea in mind for like fatal damage damage. If you do like fatal damage to somebody, like if they die, you pretty much it's like game over or something, or like morality, something like that. Or you just get like a massive debuff in one of your attacks because you broke your moral code. I don't really know how I want to do that, or I could just have like sharp batterings be like more increased damage, but it wouldn't really have that much of a negative effect. I don't think. Yeah, I don't really feel like it would have a negative effect. Maybe I could like decrease the amount of sharp batterings compared to blunt batterings that you can carry. So you could carry like 5 short batterings with like 50 blunt batterings. So it would be smarter to use blunt batterings. But short batterings are also useful for like cutting chains and stuff, which you can't really do with the blunt batterings. So I'm not sure I'm gonna do that. I'm not sure. But there's also like explosive batarangs, um, plastique, which is like plastic explosives, C4 basically. There's all these kinds of various gadgets. I'll list them out in the description. First, there's also upgrades for them that you can get via upgrading your utility belt. First, your utility belt upgrades. First off, the amount of gadgets you can carry. You have small, so it's a lot lighter. So your punches, your movement speed is a lot faster, but you get like less uh stuff to carry, weapons around to carry. Or you could have the large, which is very heavy and you be very slow and everything, but you could carry like a million gadgets that you get to use. So yeah, and also there's items, and also in the utility belt upgrade menu thing, you also have your like say you get to upgrade your gadget damage and your gadget speed and stuff like that. um, Throwing speed, stuff like that. So basically, that's how I want to do that. Now into items. Now items are just a little side thing. Basically, you have your items are they're not exactly weapons. So you have like a hacking device that you get to hack, like TVs, stuff like that. You hack lights, so you could turn off the lights in the stealth encounter, so it would be more stealthy and stuff like that. You have tracers, which tracers I haven't really thought up that much. I think like if there's a certain target in a vehicle or something like that, like somebody you want to track, but it wouldn't be actually be an objective marker, so you have to put a tracer on them so you could track them. I think that's how that could work. But I haven't really thought of tracers. It's just pretty much tracers are just like a way to track somebody. I'm not sure how the tracking element would work out in this game. There's medkits, which I'm not sure because like I don't know if I want to make these like finite, and by well not finite, infinite basically. So you could just have unlimited um, tracers, unlimited get hacking gadget devices, which is normal. But medkits, like having unlimited medkits, sounds a bit overpowered. So I'm not sure if I want to have to be a gadget and everything, but yeah, but I think the gadget sort of areas just your weapons, so pretty much like stuff you get to use on people. You can't really use a hacking device or a tracer in defensive or offensive sort of way. So, medkits will be finite, so you can only carry a certain amount of them. But yeah, and I don't think I could have like an upgrade for that. Maybe I would add like pretty much just the items. No. Just the med kit would be like a thing you can upgrade so you can carry more of them as you go along. I think that's how I want to do it. So pretty much med kits would heal a certain amount and you get to upgrade their effectiveness and how many you can carry and their speed and stuff like that. Um, that's pretty much how medkits would work. Because I don't want to have regenerative health, at least for Batman, in this game. For other people, like, in the Justice League game, like Superman, Wonder Woman, those people have, like, actual regeneration, so you get to regenerate health without any, like, well, I say no outside interference. There will be outside interference, technically, at least for Superman. Wonder Woman, I don't really feel like that would be a thing. Um, that's something I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. So, at least for this game, Batman Gotham Knight, Batman will have med kits because no regenerative health. Um, Now, armor and stuff, like the actual armor, as I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Like damage resistance and stuff, like 15 damage resistance would be smart, but I don't know if I want to have it like be a percentage or how much like damage you take. So, like, if you have a damage resistance of say 5, pretty much you just take off 5 off of the damage that the person does to you. So it would be a lot. It will make a lot more sense than to just have percentages, because increasing percentages would be kind of overpowered. So you could get like 75% and stuff. I think I would just stop it at like 80%, but that would also be very overpowered because like, what's 80% of say like 1,000? 80% of 1,000 be 800. So we would take off 800 and just only be 200 health lost when doing that, which I guess would work, but not at the same time, because you could upgrade your. There's a perk that I thought of now. It's not the One Piece reference. It's another one that pretty much increases your health, because I really wanted to be like the perks are pretty much vital. So you have to focus on the perks in order to like become stronger. You can't just be stronger just by leveling up. You have to actually use the perks. Um, because where you pretty much increase your health by purchasing said perk. So pretty much it would be a way to where you can't like just focus only on a certain one, like damage or resistance or stuff like that. You would have to go on another thing and like switch around and stuff. And the ones that you feel are important, the ones that are not, stuff like that. Because there's like the stealth perks, there's the damage perks, there's the like health and endurance and perks and stuff like that. There's other perks I can remember now, like speed perks, stuff like that. All those perks you would have to switch around if you want to have like a what's the word I'm looking for here? Like a hmm, hold up a second. From another quick edit now. Just talking about upgrades. Yeah. So now I'm not sure. Now I'm gonna talk about buddies. This is sort of getting into spoiler, like a bit more spoilers. In the game, you have your heroes. You have Batman, obviously. You have Robin. You have Green Arrow. You have Nightwing, and you have Arrowette. Pretty much just Arrowette is like Artemis from Young Justice, if you don't know. Um, Pretty much, Batman is the person you play as pretty much over the entire game. After a certain point, this may not happen. May or may not happen. I'm not gonna say, but pretty much you have those other characters who act as your buddies, basically. And buddies act like an MGS and stuff. They're really for support. They fight alongside you, of course, and you pretty much get to upgrade those buddies by carrying around, going around with them. So, say if you go around the place with Robin as your buddy, pretty much you get well. To be honest, the whole buddy system sort of like it's really hard because you would have to have like add dialogue for them. It's not like Fallout where they just say random things whilst dialogue is going on. They would have to actually be involved in the story. So I think that I'm gonna find a way to handle that. But anyways, quick. That's another quick edit. So I was talking about buddies. So pretty much buddies running around with them pretty much would up their skills and stuff like that and their stats. I'm not sure if I want to be like, you upgrade them or if they just upgrade themselves by going around and stuff. I'm not sure if I want to add like an affinity system or whatever, where if you carry them around more, they would like you more, but that wouldn't really work. So, because you're only pretty good friends. I mean, Robin and Nightwing are your sons. So, really get much better in a relationship. But anyways, by just going around beating up people. I guess that's sort of family stuff. Hopefully you don't hear that much noise in the background. So yeah. Anyways, now okay. Final edit, hopefully. So um, well, so talking about buddies, and yeah, super much you get to go around. Now, one thing now, if you're going around with say Arrowette, it would make sense if just makes sense. I guess I could do it like just not a single buddy. You could go around with like, you know, Robin and Nightwing, like two buddies, up to two buddies. So you could have like Robin and Arrowette, Nightwing and Green Arrow, that kind of stuff. And they have their own like bonuses and stuff like that. Like Green Arrow and Arrowette, they are long range people. Green Arrow is also good at like melee damage, but he's not as fast in the actual melee as Arrowette. So that's how I'm gonna do it. Basically, I'm just gonna try and balance it out so you pick your favorite buddies. I think on the beginning stage before like Green Arrow and Arrowette arrive, I'll just have it be one. I'm not sure. Something will happen. It'll happen away, and I don't know how. I think maybe just buddies will just like happen according to the story, but that wouldn't really. I guess you could just have buddies when you free roam around and try and stop turf war and stuff. Basically, just for free roam and not during story missions and stuff. I guess that's how I'll make buddies work. That would sort of get rid of freedom, and freedom is what I want in this game. But sometimes you gotta take drastic measures. So, yeah. So I think that's all for gameplay. There's the damage as I talked about before. Also, there's the various enemy archetypes. This is what I wanted to talk about. Um, Now, this is why I sort of left this for the end, mainly because this is the part I have to think about the most. Because I actually thought about enemy archetypes before. I did like have like a bunch of them, like a couple enemy archetypes, but I actually hadn't really like with my new mechanics and stuff that I thought out. I haven't actually thought of what the enemy archetypes will be like and their names and what kind of buffs they would have and stuff like that. So I think it would be like random thugs for all three, not all three, but like Joker, Penguin, Two Face, Black Mask. You would just have random, just basic thugs. It would be like the weakest, like the Drakes, I guess. Just the weakest, their weakest units, but they have a lot of them. And of course, with the various levels, they become stronger. So, yeah. Um, then we have like brutes. Now, brutes, I'm not sure if I want to be just like a stronger version of those. Like roamers, like ghoul roamers, would be the upgraded version of just the basic feral ghouls in Fallout 4, well, in Fallout. But I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. Just like give them a buff or something. I'm not sure. Maybe they carry around a certain weapon. I don't know. I'll think about that later on. Then we have either it's just like an upgraded version of the basic thugs, or just have them be like the massive like Venom users in the Arkham games and stuff like that, or like just the Enforcers or whatever. I would have like the Enforcers, and then I would have like people with armor. There's many things I could do, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna do them. Um, but yeah, so I also want it to be like depending on their influence in the area, their troops become stronger and they have the better people on their troops and stuff, and everything like that. And then of course there's like the ninjas who work for Ra's al Ghul in the League of Assassins, stuff like that. But and I'm not sure if I want to have them be like ally, like a couple mercenary ninjas that work for Deathstroke would be really cool. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Just have Snake Eyes working for Deathstroke. Um, yeah, that's how it's gonna happen. And of course, there's like Arkham inmates because when you go into Arkham, for the first time, there's Arkham inmates that you have to fight and stuff. And yeah, that's how it's gonna work. There's also like very different types of enemies. There's there's different variations and there's different things they could do. Like, I don't know, acrobats basically. They have a higher chance of dodging your attacks and also jump around and stuff like that. And then there's like sword users or something. I don't know, like weird. Like there's acrobat, there's brute. I don't know, maybe where it's just like stronger melee and everything like that. Like their melee damage is stronger, and then there's like, I don't know, sharpshooter or something like that. I don't know, gunner, something where they're like guns attacks or actually have a buff on them, and there's like, the brutes and the enforcers and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, that's how I think the game could and should roll out with the enemies. Of course, um, it's really difficult to think of because there's different levels, of course, and hmm, I don't even like after you level up. There's like people that get stronger. If I just want them to be a certain area, it just depends on the influence that they have. So the story mission people would go up either according to your actual like level, or if the story missions have their own level. So if you're not that level, then too bad for you. You're gonna die. Too bad for you. Austin Powers reference guy. So that kind of stuff. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do enemies as much, but all I know is that they're pretty much like the main part of the game, basically. I mean, they do everything. Um, yeah, so pretty much there's different enemies that focus on either there's just the basic thugs that are just basic, then you have the variants, I guess, that have focused more on either the damage or their damage resistance or damage with certain weapons, like damage with while unarmed or melee damage, or melee weapon damage or gun damage or whatever. And then there's like the acrobats who dodge more, and the martial artists who counter more, and then like the brutes and stuff who block and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But anyways, I think that's it finally for the gameplay element of this. I also want to say you could swim. That's when I'm gonna finish off, John. You're gonna swim. You're not like any Rockstar game use like protagonist that just is water soluble and just like John Marston. Fun fact: John Marston breathes from his hat. Finishing up the video of that fun fact. So, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Next video will be the story of Batman Gotham Knight. And yeah, hopefully you guys found this interesting. Pretty interesting concept. I think I've thought up here. It's part of my overall DC video game universe, shared universe thing. It'll be part of a series of games set in DC and stuff like that. I might do one for Marvel. That include actually me liking Marvel, which is never gonna happen. So, well, I like Spider-Man. That's all. So yeah, I'll probably just do a Spider-Man game, and that's pretty much it. Maybe Avengers and X-Men. There's a lot of stuff you could do, but anyways, as I said, I'm ending the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Give me some tips and stuff that you would like in the comment section. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next video. Troll on.